You ready, kids?
Aye, Captain.
I can hear you. Hello and welcome to ETTO's Catch Up. I'm Will.
I'm Josh.
And on the only show, what's in a name?
And where in the world is the biggest Lego store?
Ooh!
Who knows?
That's very exciting.
I know.
I
know.
You wrote it down. Holy shit.
You'll all know soon.
You'll all know soon. You'll all know soon, kids. Everyone, we're going to make sure, we should have done it beforehand, we should add something to your legs to see, like a quad tracker, to see how you are by the end of this podcast.
Yes, yes, I am standing.
Yep.
Can jump.
There you go. Yep.
Yes, I am back recording at Max's with my old USB microphone. And
sounds good.
That's great. Cool. In a different room to last time as well. But currently laptop is on a keyboard stand that is at max settings so that it is thin enough to be able to hold the laptop.
Yep.
But that means that it's too high for a chair. So now I got to stand. So here we are.
Josh is going to have the thickest thighs at your wedding.
Oh, yes.
The next 3 podcasts, there's these big, beefy thighs. You won't fit in the suit. They'll need to expand just that section. That's
it. Yeah, I'll get flares.
Yeah, but for your calves.
Yeah. Amazing.
How's your week been?
It's been pretty good. I did some music recording on Thursday, actually. It was very cool. So second session in almost a year. Yep. Man, I think the last one was just before I went up to Sydney for Christmas. Finally got back to it. It's obviously been a busy year. Why not record 3 weeks before you get married? Yeah. Make it busier. Yes, but it's good. I was hoping to sort of start working on the song that I proposed with. But the guy just sort of like sat down and opened up the previous song that we were working on, and he was like, all right, what are we doing? And I'm nah, let's just do this. It's fine.
Yeah.
He must have been prepared for that one. So we're still working on the previous one, which is totally fine. And really loving where it's coming, which is really cool. We only did new vocal layers this time, so doubled the choruses, which is just singing the same melody, not harmonies or anything, over the top of the choruses, just to thicken it out a little bit.
Yep.
And added, I think I doubled the bridge as well, and then added some like ooh harmonies in the bridge as well. It sounded really cool. I had an idea for one.
Yeah.
For like oohs that I've always been singing with that song. And when it came to it, it was like, I think we can do better. And we like did better and simplified it. And it's like, it's really cool. There's a slide in there. So instead of like I think I was just following the chords with oohs. So it was just like, ooh, something like that.
Yep.
And then instead it's like a ooh. So it's just this nice little slide.
Yeah.
We tried a step as well, and that was like, it's fine, but maybe we can get the slide to work, and that adds a bit more character.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very cool. It's not what I would have thought of, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah, cool.
It's not just going to sound like a normal Josh musical idea.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah. Yes.
Sick.
Yeah. So very, very cool. We're going to keep working on it. There's a few more like instruments that we want to add, some new things, which is very cool.
A harp?
Sorry?
A harp?
A harp.
Yeah.
Could get Tiff in.
Yeah,
She's a harpist.
A harpist.
That'd be great.
That's very exciting.
And one funny thing, I actually sent this to you and Ben yesterday. No one commented, but I was listening to Thumb Cramps, which is a podcast I regularly mention on this podcast.
Yep.
And listeners email in. It's the weirdest freaking show with the weirdest freaking fans.
Yeah. Bless.
Excuse me. And one of them wrote in and said that they listened to Pocket Buds, the Back Pocket podcast hosted by Ruby Innes.
Yep.
The episode with the Thumb Cramps boys in it. I think that's what got them onto it. And they were in a car accident. Which, just for that podcast, for Thumb Cramps, feels really standard at this stage.
Amazing.
Because people have been writing in, talking about the weirdest places that they've been listening to Thumb Cramps. Like, a lot of them are doing the dirty while listening to Thumb Cramps, which podcast. They're just like, this is the worst podcast for you to be listening to while doing that.
Or any podcast.
That too. But this one in particular is just, it's constantly off the rails. Like, it's so strange.
So rhythm? You need a rhythm.
Yeah.
You're listening to anything.
It's a bit weird.
You don't want anyone else's voices kind of bouncing that around.
For sure. So strange. And then, there's surgeons that have been listening to Thumb Cramps while performing surgery. There's farmers helping cows give birth, so they're reaching into a cow to pull another cow out of that cow.
Yep.
Whilst listening to Thumb Cramps. So being in a car accident doesn't really. It feels standard.
That's
a little more dangerous, I guess.
Yeah.
And then so that was last week's episode of Thumb Cramps. This week, just the Friday just passed. So that would have been 2 weeks ago by the time this has come out.
Yep.
But the episode, the Thumb Cramps episode that came out the Friday just before this.
Yep.
Someone wrote in, heard that, and was like, "Man, that would be so weird. I wonder what that would be like." And then they got hit by an ambulance.
What the fuck? Why?
So like I said, it feels real standard for the listeners and the viewership of Thumb Cramps.
Yeah.
Just in real weird situations whilst listening to that show.
Yeah.
And it's just... The email section is unhinged. The show itself is unhinged, but the listeners are the weirdest part of that show, I swear.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
So what we're saying is, Toes, start getting hit by ambulances and tell us about it. Yeah.
Please. It might increase our viewership.
I think so.
That'd be amazing.
That one guy in Germany.
That's it.
They might be tickled by your near miss of death.
Yeah, that one guy in... it is Germany. It's not Russia, is it?
No, I think it's Germany.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. They may be Russians.
I was gonna say, if there is any Russians, let us know if there's any bear attacks or something.
Yeah,
or if you're just living with one.
Yeah.
You see that for some reason all the time on Reddit. There's just
people
just a bear living with a guy,
and you're always like, I could do that.
Yeah,
I could trade a bear.
Yeah, if it's as friendly as those bears, then it's probably fine.
Easy, give it a hug.
Yeah.
You just reminded me, talking about surgeons listening to pods. My last scope. I have the same anaesthetist every time. And it's always funny because someone always introduces themselves as one, but I forget the nurse is different to the actual anaesthetist. So they're always like, I'm the anaesthetist nurse. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm not disappointed in their face. I'm like, I guess so. They're like, all right, we're going to give you half the amount. You're going to feel your rectum. But then I get to the thing and it's the same dude every time. And I think I've mentioned that he starts the spiel as he walks through the doors that are behind. And then as he comes around, he realizes it's me. And then the most recent one, we were just chatting and usually they do everything before you even go in. And so as soon as you get in, they just turn the thing on, you're falling asleep. But we got in and I saw my doctor and stuff and they're like, if you just lay on your side, and they're like, wait a second, there's nothing in you. And he's like, oh, we got distracted. Hang on, let's do this. It's like, I think soon he's going to start taking me comic shopping at King's Comics. And he's not going to be my nurse anymore.
Yeah, he'll be on the show.
Yeah, we'll start making YouTube content together.
There's a Melbourne mates. What can we have? A Sydney
surgeons.
Sydney surgeons. Yes,
done. Get on the
one
pod,
cuts up people, one cuts up footage.
Snip, snip.
There it is.
I like it. We're done. The podcast is over.
Good. So good.
No, it's only just begun. We've got to do the news.
We do have to do the news.
Whack, whack, whack.
Waka, waka.
the news. Do you want to tell me where the biggest Lego store is, Josh?
I do. It's coming. It's coming to Sydney, Will.
Oh!
Yeah.
Where?
I was about to read my first sentence, but the first sentence is everything I just said.
Amazing.
At a size of 900 square meters.
Oh my God.
Which I feel is ridiculous. I don't know how big like a standard Big W is, but I feel like it's gonna be up there.
That sounds big. I was going to write 900 square meters Big W, and that wouldn't make any sense. How big is the standard?
But the location is in Sydney Arcade, overlooking Pitt Street Mall. So it's just right there in the heart of the city.
Sick.
It's apparently like in construction. It's there right now, happening right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is from Kotaku. I think it's David, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
The David that does
David.
the... Yeah, the David, the guy.
Good beard.
Yes. So this particular store, did you find anything about Big W?
No, I didn't. It's weird they don't have the standard shop sizes on the internet.
Yeah, maybe.
How big is a Bunnings?
Maybe that was a dumb question to ask. How big is a Bunnings?
A Bunnings, because if it's like half a Bunnings, that's still huge. 17,000 square meters.
It is half a Bunnings.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's massive. That's crazy. Wow. Nice. They are implementing Australia's first minifigure factory.
Oh, good.
There you go.
Sick.
I was waiting for that. They're going to have one of the largest pick and build walls.
Cool.
They'll have an interactive storytelling table. Quote, that will tell visitors about their favorite sets or help them pick new designs.
Okay.
I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, the second half sounds interesting. The first half sounds like someone's job to tell you about sets.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't want a table. I want a person.
Yeah, but it says interactive as well. So I assume maybe it's just like a table where you sit at a computer and you can scroll through and it can tell you some stuff about sets that you like.
I'm like picturing it's like a Perspex thing and it's like a Tony Stark thing. So when you're like, that's it, it's like it builds in front of you and you're like, oh,
hell
wow.
Yeah, that would be sick. Please. And it's expected to open at the end of the year, potentially to catch the Christmas rush.
Nice, yeah.
So could be there in a couple of months.
Sick. Oh, cool.
Crazy.
That's very exciting. That sounds less daggy than the one at Chadstone, where it's like there's a little store and then there's just this weird little kids museum, and there's no lights on, and it's like, what happens to kids in there? They ever come out?
Yeah. I think my sister went there with my nephew.
It looks fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I think my nephew actually stole someone's minifigs.
Good.
I think there was like you can like put together minifigs and then put them in a little like blister pack thing. Mm-hmm. And I think he like walked over and just took it off some people's table and then walked back. And no one noticed.
Yeah.
They didn't notice. My sister didn't notice. And he walked out. And they were like, "Where'd you get that?" He's like, "I just found it. I liked him."
Good. It's true. He's a regular little rocket raccoon. You don't understand, sir. Man. What if I like him more than they do?
Pretty much. Oh, man, what a cheeky kid.
That's funny. Cool.
But yes. So coming soon, Sydney Arcade.
Lego. Yeah, cool.
Hit it up. We should hit it up at Christmas.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be busy as heck, but yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that and IMAX if it ever opens.
Yes. Where is that meant to be this year?
It said July and now I think it says October. It changes. It's in like 4 or 5 month increments. It's like this one.
Sure. Yeah.
A couple more.
Yeah. Every quarter.
Yeah. Hopefully it's open. Nice. I'd like to see. I'd like to have a nice little June 2 nap.
Yeah,
that'd be lovely. Also, someone who loves napping, snakes.
I guess
they're warm-blooded.
Snakes hibernate?
Yeah, I think they're one of those ones.
Or at least they like go into the sun and they sit and
they wrap up and they're like
they sunbake, so they probably nap.
I told you they like napping.
Warm. There you go. Nailed it.
We found new snakes.
Oh.
Or at least one new species. A joint collaboration between researchers from... One snake a month is pretty good. From Peru and United States. They found a new species of snake in Peru's Otishi National Park. It's a slender snake measuring a modest 16 inches, which is about 40.5 centimeters, which still feels pretty big. If I saw a 40.5 centimeter snake, I'd be like, fuck.
If I saw any size snake, I'd probably be out of there.
They are a funny one, because I'm not too frightful of them, but also like a tiny snake is just as scary as a big snake, because a tiny snake is fucked. You're like, ugh, it's like wriggling towards you, and it's like, that's weird.
Yes, yeah, what is it? Their little like zigzag is very
It's
quick.
frantic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But I think it's just like in Australia, we kind of know what spiders are dangerous and what aren't.
Yeah.
But snakes, I don't know.
It's like this one says this one is not harmful to humans. It's like, I don't know that.
Yeah, I'm not going to know if I saw it.
No.
So
Totally. You look at some spiders, and even the ugly ones, you're like, you're right, mate. Keep on going.
Yeah.
Which is very weird. This snake has been named the the Tachymenodius harrisonfordi. So it's been named after Harrison Ford, this snake.
Really?
Yeah, which is very
amazing.
fun.
I was wondering why we had snake news.
We had snake news.
Now I get it.
I'll do it again and there won't be any relevant information. It'll just be snake news. He's also had a Californian spider called the Capillonia harrisonfordi, and also a species of ant called the Phaidol harrisonfordi.
Nice.
I looked into, and I have a list of some other ones, and I hate how boring they are. They're just like Latin word, the name of the person. It's like, come on, have some fun.
Yeah. What else we got?
I'll go into them in a sec, but the best thing about this was the quote from Harrison Ford about this.
Excellent.
It's just like insane. Like, the man is weird. He was talking to The Conservation, which I assume is a wildlife news source. He says, "These scientists keep naming critters after me, but it's always the ones that terrify children. I don't understand. I spend my free time cross-stitching. I sing lullabies to my basil plants so they won't fear the night." They won't fear the night? He's so cool.
He's so strange. What the heck was that?
I know.
Oh my gosh, he's the weirdest guy.
There were like posts of that quote, and I just was like, that's on The Onion or something. But it's like, no, that's a real quote that he does cross-stitching and sings lullabies to basil plants so they won't fear the night.
Of course it is. Oh my goodness.
He's a strange dude.
So good.
I love him. Some of the other creatures, there's a spider. This one is very blatant. There's a spider called ABBA. It's just called ABBA.
Weird.
There's a wasp called the Aractovus jackie-chani, which is fun.
Amazing. I saw a Reddit video today where some interviewers asked who Jackie Chan's favorite Kardashian was, and he was like, "What?
What is a Kardashian?
I don't know what that is. Is that English?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." It's just like, man, imagine living in a world where you didn't have to know who the Kardashians are.
Mm-hmm. That'd be lovely.
What a life. It'd be so nice.
I know. We've got to get to a point as old people where we start using the internet and we get to live in that bliss where we're just like,
it'd be so good.
I'm done. I know everything I need to know.
Yeah.
I don't need any more.
There's going to be a different form of like information, gathering.
Yeah.
It's not the internet. And so we're going to be stuck on the internet where we only have like old stuff.
Yes. It'll be our newspaper.
Yeah. And then all the young people will just get their information from somewhere else, and then we can just live in bliss on the internet.
Yeah.
Looking at old memes.
Yeah, totally. It'll be a circle jerk for the rest of the time. It'll be great.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
There's spiders for both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, not one for Tom Holland.
I was going to ask. Yeah. I was expecting a Tom Holland Spider-Man, but a spider, sorry. But
No Tom Holland yet, but the two others have one.
Yet?
There is a starfish for a band called Between the Buried and Me, and this one I'm very happy about because it's called Amphilomena interspecialus. There's a Latin word there, but basically the Latin word translates to their band name. So
that's better.
That's what you want.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Like Latinize a name and put that in there because then it just sounds like a thing.
Yes. Yeah, I used to get paid by the Latin translation of big ant.
Oh, wow. That's their banking thing. Yeah, cool.
I guess so. Yeah. It's the banking name was.
Yeah, cool. The Latin
it was Formis Magna or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
cool. There's also an Idris Elba wasp, and they were like, it should be Idris Elba would be the correct thing. But apparently they just bypass grammar by pretending that Elba is an arbitrary combination of letters that is to be treated as a noun rather than his name. And so by doing that, they can just call it Idris Elba without needing to have the Latin kind of I added. I don't know how they did it, but that's also fine. If there's a wasp that I can go, that's Idris Elba. It's just pointed an animal.
That is very funny. That took me a second. That's so strange. Yeah. That's amazing.
Look at him go. And then there's one more, but also I just had as I was scrolling through, it was like half an hour because it was a huge list. Right. I was just noticing repeated ones. There's 5 Stephen Colbert's. There's 7 Greta Thunbergs, which was kind
interesting.
Of surprising. There are 16 Obamas. And there's like 4 that are both him and Michelle as well. And then I think Michelle has 2 or 3. So across the Obamas, there's over 20.
That's insane. What the heck?
But my favorite one was the Kasi non Mertis Conan O'Brien. They described it as this, which is very fun because it means that they know Conan O'Brien as a comedian. They said, the physical similarities between this new species and Mr. O'Brien are remarkable. Both exhibit a long and pale soma with slight tints of orange. And
very good.
It looks like this. You can see the similarities to Conan O'Brien.
Yuck.
It's like a bean pod. Audio listeners, and it's very gross, but it kind of habitates in stuff like this.
D is very uncomfortable.
It's not very. They're like eggs are very orange, so I think that's
kind of cute.
Yeah, that looks like a
like
Finding
little
Nemo
orange
thing.
Or like a Pokemon.
Oh yeah, totally. I know there's a nice like blue scale, but yeah, the kind of scientific recording of it is very gross.
It looks like a tentacle.
Yeah.
Just a tentacle by itself.
Yeah, it's not very nice. Sorry to anyone who has etmophobia or whatever it is, the holy one. There's a couple holes there. Yeah. But you know to look away. I feel like that's one of those ones where you can go, oh.
Yeah, you don't have to look.
Just give a moment. But there you go. Harrison Ford snake. Coming to a Peru near you.
Nice. Very good. Very good.
And that is all the news.
That's the news.
Welcome to the ad read. There's no ads to read. I don't know if we've ever actually shouted it out, but BMAC has a little website called TLDR Reviews. You should go give them a look.
Should.
Go give them a look. You recommended Ready or Not last week, and BMAC hadn't watched it. And then they watched it.
Now he has. Yes,
and
I saw it. Very, very cool. Yeah, I even on a phone call with Maxine, I even called her. I'm like, hey, this website has a review on it of Ready or Not that just got published because you and I watched it together.
You made this happen.
It's so good. I later explained why. She was like, why? Yeah. What do you mean?
How did you do this?
Very cool. Very cool.
We love BMAC around here. And
yes. And it's a good review too.
It was a good review. All the reviews are very fun, and you know, it's a privilege that he saw us watch a thing and watched it, because there's a lot of reviewers that would be like, no, I choose what I watch, and I will make those selections. But I always appreciate BMAC takes recommendations and watches them and gives them the full critique. So
definitely, glad you liked it, BMAC. Absolutely. Everyone, go check out his review. And go check out Ready Player One.
Don't do that.
Go check out Ready or Not. Yeah. Great movie.
Someone tweeted the poster and I'd forgotten about the leg. Do you remember the leg fiasco? That's the poster of him on the ladder, and one leg is on a stool and then the other one is on like 5 rungs lower, and so his leg is just this giant stick. And I'd forgotten about it when someone tweeted it. I'm like, I forgot.
Yeah. Totally. Oh my goodness.
I don't know how that got by. It's so weird.
Insane.
Yeah.
So good.
But watch Ready or Not if you haven't already.
So good.
And keep watching or listening to the podcast because it's not over.
Please.
Welcome to Cues
Love
from
that
Views. It's the best. I was actually randomly going through videos last night on our channel, and I think some of them were stream tests, and I didn't realize the lovely jazzy stream over sound that we've got has been on the thing for 3 years. I thought it's scary when you realize things like that I remember choosing that, and I felt like it was we've been doing it for a year and a bit, but it's no, that's been around for a while.
Yeah. When did we start? We started doing streams during COVID?
I think so.
Or before COVID?
Probably just before, because it was It was the realization we couldn't hang out as much, and so we're let's do things. So it's been kicking since then, and it was
very cool.
That's now probably for the listeners and the watchers, that's a staple of our channel, is that hearing that noise means the stream's over. And I'm
Absolutely,
that's weird that we've made that happen.
Yes, yeah. Because I keep hearing, I think it's mostly back pocket themes. Are always in ads and stuff.
Macca's loves them.
Yeah.
Macca's love them.
That sort of thing. I think there's other streams or potentially ads as well that do some of the back pocket opening, not the opening crawl, but just the waiting.
Yeah.
The waiting music and stuff.
Yep.
And then there's one that I've heard a couple of times that is, I think you've got an ad blocker for YouTube, don't you? So you don't get the Voost.
No.
The Voost ads.
Yeah.
Which is not supplements, but vitamin tablets.
Yep.
And it's this deep, bass sort of dance thing that you'd get at a dirty club or something.
Yeah.
And it's just this deep voice. Sounds like a European guy going, "Wurst is good, yeah. Wurst is good, yeah." And but I keep hearing that beat, a very similar beat, if not exactly the same sample, in other ads. Whenever it starts, I just sing it to myself. I'm like, "Wurst is good, yeah."
Amazing.
So good.
They probably just had a beat and had this weird man sing that over it. Yeah, amazing.
Pretty much.
Oh, good. Let us know in the Discord your favorite royalty-free tracks. Put it in the Tepid FM channel.
Yeah, let us know.
Welcome to Cues from News. We take cues from news and we answer them. Josh, do you want to kick us off because you've got a good selection?
I do. I have a question from BMac.
Yep. Speaking of Mac.
That's it. I'm gonna read it exactly how he typed it, and that's the exact question we are going to answer.
Please.
What is one game from your youth that you would like to see given a new coat of pain in the next generation?
Sick.
So what is a game from our childhood that we'd like to see given some new pain?
Yeah. That's good. I like that. I mean,
the thing that it made me think of was one of the latest podcasts that Ben and I put out.
Yeah.
Which was as I mentioned last week, about the first games that we realized games can actually suck sometimes.
Yes.
And mine was Prototype.
Yeah.
If Prototype could feel a little more pain itself, as an unfeeling entity, if it could feel pain, I'd say Prototype, because I just hate that game.
Yeah, totally. I was going to say it's weird BMac asked this because it is so similar to a discussion you've already had. What would I want to feel more pain from my childhood? Probably I played it on stream a while ago. There's a Muppets horror game where you play as Kermit. No, you play as the little Kermit. The son of Kermit one that exists.
Okay.
And
sure.
he adapts different powers throughout the game, so you get bat wings and you get all this other shit.
Wow.
It's a great game. It's a very good game. But I just think that tiny little creatures like the Muppets should feel more pain, because I think it's weird that they go through life just having a hand up their ass and they don't feel anything. You should be all the time. All the time. You should be... I want them to be conscious that a man or anyone is up them, I think.
Yes. Yeah, fair.
I think that would be good. Code of Pain. I like that. Also, I wouldn't mind a new Max Payne game, just in the 21st century.
That's true. Yeah. Even remake the old ones.
Yeah.
Like, remaster them. Mm-hmm. That'd be great. They would look creepy now.
Yeah, totally.
Creepy back then.
Yeah. We don't get games like that, though. There hasn't been, like, just fun, like, shooty, weird, like, slow down concept kind of thing games. That's what I miss. I'm not talking about Pain anymore, but, like, I just miss games that came out for nothing. Like, games are also big now. It's always like, this is going to be the best game you've ever played, or it's an indie.
Yeah.
There's no, like, games that just get made. Like...
It's why, like, some of the... There's, like, you know, not quite Devolver, maybe some Devolver games. Like, they feel like they're made for just the fun action of it all.
Yeah.
With fun mechanics and stuff. The one that I'm thinking of, I guess you've got My Name is Pedro.
Yeah.
That one feels similar. It's got some slowdown. But the other one that I'm thinking of that is coming soon would be Angerfoot. I feel like it's the one where you just kick.
Oh, yes. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I think there's guns in it too, but yeah, it's just your foot is ridiculously powerful.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
unfortunately, I think also delayed in Devolver's latest...
Devolver
Delayed, which is so good. Oh my goodness.
It's very funny.
Just to jump in for a recommendation, everyone go watch Devolver Delayed. It's just such a good parody of Nintendo's...
It's the best thing they've done in a long time, because their E3 things have been shit the last couple of years. But that one was very funny.
Yeah.
Great question, B-Mac. Shout out to anyone if they want to resubmit questions and get different answers. That's also an option. My question is from Dolphin. They put it in the Discord, but I might have a different answer. You have to do a complete MCU rewatch, but you only get 3 skips. What 3 MCU projects are you skipping along the way?
Ooh.
Because in the Discord, I think everyone kind of treated it, and that's fair, as like, ones you just never want to see again because they suck. Which you can do, because I chucked mine in there, and it was a Secret Invasion. It was Eternals and Miss Marvel, my 3. But I'm going to try and treat this more as like, what can you get rid of, and the story as a whole doesn't dissipate.
Yeah, because like my first thought definitely Eternals. That stay on there.
That doesn't remove from that.
Can stay on the billing. Yeah. My next thought was just Thor 2, because I don't like Thor 2, but it fits so well into Endgame.
Yes. Yeah. You kind of need that, and a bit of Loki as well. Anymore. Loki's good.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to remove that.
WandaVision was just great, but it also links into
a bit of Doctor Strange. Yeah. What can be removed without changing everything? I guess no, because I'm like the Ant-Man's. Not that I would want to, but they get the quantum realm in there.
Yeah. Quantum realm can probably go. I feel like that's.
Oh yeah, just Quantum Mania. Just kill that.
Quantum Mania. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not going to have too much effect.
Yeah.
Going forward for anything.
Yeah, it's just another Kang on the wall. Like it's not.
That's it. Yeah.
Surely, I mean, I hope that's not the Kang, and it's like that's where they get the Thanos kind of Kang from that movie, because that would be nuts. I feel like at this point they can't treat that movie like that, because no one will want to remember it.
No, not at all.
Yeah, Quantum Mania, Eternals.
Yeah. And I haven't seen Secret Invasion, but that does sound like it should be on the list, but I wonder whether we can come up with something else that's not your original list.
Yes, yeah. Because looking at like early ones, obviously most of Phase 1 is important. Iron Man 2 gets in Black Widow and a further understanding of Nick Fury, even though it is the lesser Iron Man. It's still fun. Iron Man 3 is our favourite, but it also gives us Trevor.
I was going to say Thor Love and Thunder, but it gives us context about the Guardians.
Yeah.
And where Thor ended up.
Yeah.
After
that's true.
Endgame and stuff. So
to get rid of him.
Yeah, that could be like an on the fence one for now if we don't come up with something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, the one that you genuinely could skip, but you shouldn't because it's good, is Werewolf by Night. Because it doesn't fit anywhere, and I can't... I hope they come back, but it's probably never going to be relevant. Same vein, Moon Knight as well. I feel like, that might have been a one-and-done thing for a good amount of time. Maybe it's Moon Knight. Not that I would want to, because it's fun, but it feels like it's very secluded in the Marvel Universe.
There's barely... I can't even remember a reference.
I don't think there is.
To the wider MCU.
Yeah.
Of any sort. Is there like a Snap reference at all?
There's probably something about the blip.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, interesting.
There you go. If you don't want to watch things, there's your list.
There you go.
Thank you, Dolphin.
But really, your original list is the real one.
Yeah, it's a shame. I can't wait for the Marvels purely so that Kamala's in a thing that is hopefully good. Because I love Kamala and I love Iman. I just didn't like the show.
Yeah,
just wasn't what we wanted.
That's it.
But
it's very messy.
Yeah, it just needed one idea, not 6.
Yeah, but like nearly every character is great.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a shame.
Her family, her friends, great characters. Great actors.
I don't want to rewatch it just in case it's good, and then I have to tell people that in the Discord that liked it, they're right. So I'll just...
I think, did Ben rewatch it?
I think Ben may have,
rewatched it and went, it's actually better than I remember.
Yeah.
No. One day. When I forced Max to watch all the shows because she currently refuses to watch them.
It's fair. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about some more shows.
Maybe
in this segment. Rec.
Nailed it. There we go. Got there.
Rec seg. You been watching things?
I have. You just, at the time of recording, a mere a couple of hours ago, I guess, posted about a Only Murders season 3 theory.
Yes.
So I recommend people go watch that. I haven't watched it because I haven't watched any of season 3 because I just started rewatching season 2 with Max because she hasn't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and smash through that and then either watch season 3 on the plane to Japan or finish watching season 2 and maybe start watching season 3 as well. Yeah.
Good.
So yes. Yeah.
Sick.
It's great. I think we're 3 episodes in, 2 or 3 episodes in.
Yeah.
To season 2, and it's so good. Such a good show.
Is it good? And I know it's still good, but is it interesting rewatching it, knowing where it goes? Are you finding more in it? I mean, I'm sure you've forgotten potentially where it goes. It's been a year and a bit, so.
A little bit. You get some of the shots of someone in a balaclava. And knowing who that is. It's kind of I can kind of see it now, but I can still see that, you can't see that coming because it's,
Yeah, totally.
It's very difficult. So, I'll keep an eye out. I think the main people that are involved haven't been in it much yet.
Yes. Yeah, true. Yeah.
At this stage. So they come in stronger probably around the halfway point, I think.
Yep.
So I'll be keeping an eye on them when the time comes. But at this stage, not a whole lot to pick apart. Having seen it before.
Yep.
But it's so fun, and I'm trying to think of the girl that takes Sting's apartment.
Oh, Amy Schumer.
Yeah. She's annoyingly great.
Yeah, I know.
It sucks. picking herself apart.
Yeah.
The writers have done such a good job with doing that. It's annoying that she's likably annoying in this.
Yeah. It sucks.
Frustrating, but it's great just her making fun of herself the whole time. It's fun to see.
I was thinking about it the other day, just how wild the first season was. Just for half of it, what if Sting did it?
Yeah.
It's like, what? How is that the main suspect? And then, like, the end of that one episode where I'll be watching you, just him playing it on a stage by himself. Oh,
yeah.
What a show.
So good.
I've obviously been watching the new season. I really, really like it. I think it's probably the best. It feels like the best and most concise version of this yet.
Sure.
They've worked out what to do. Maybe it'll be a case of season 2 where halfway through they introduce a whole different ball of what's going on. But at least for now, it feels very contained, which I think the first season did as well. Like it feels like it's gone back on what worked really well in the first season, and I hope that works better. It's also done a really good job of being like, it could be anyone. I don't know.
Nice.
Like, I have a theory, but they're definitely doing a really good job of like going, anything could happen from here, and we're only 3 episodes in. And I hope it's the last season. I want it to be the last
I was just about to ask, but I couldn't remember whether that had been announced or not.
Yes, I don't think it has, but I also think it's been a case by case. Like, they didn't make 1 knowing they do 2 and vice versa.
Yeah, sure.
But I hope this is the last run, just because the idea is still working. I don't know how many more times you can be like, murder! It's like, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. But really, really fun. So, yeah.
Nice. I've also watched, as I hope most people have, the Scott Pilgrim anime trailer quite a few times.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so keen for it.
Yeah.
Man, I know Brian Lee O'Malley, the original writer, has come out and said that it's not a remake of the movie or the comics. This is a new thing. He's like, I've written that. I've written those things. They're out there. You can go get them and read those. Yeah. This is a new thing, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
Because now we get, like, I feel like we've had questions before on this about like, what movie sequel would you like to see? And I've always jumped to Scott Pilgrim. Yeah. Everything else I know has a sequel. I'm like, even though Scott Pilgrim is in itself like a very well-contained story. Yeah. I'm like, wouldn't mind seeing what happens and what else they can do. And this is literally it.
Yeah.
This is like the years that I've been saying that I wanted Tony Hawk remastered. And then it happened.
They're talking to you.
And we've been saying Croc.
Yeah.
And there's
maybe
rumors of that.
Yeah.
Who knows? But man.
And everyone being back, it's very cool.
So sick. Yeah. All the original voice actors. I'm very, very excited for that.
Yeah. That's the watching.
That's it. Have you been playing anything?
I've got a quick watch, which is obviously spending time with Dad watching things. We've been watching a lot of the Grand Tour, and
nice.
It's very, very good. Grand Tour, obviously being the Top Gear OG boys, moving over to Amazon.
Are they still going with Grand Tour?
So what they do instead, the Grand Tour kind of started out as a tent show, kind of structured similar to Top Gear. They would literally take a tent to different places, set up tent, film an episode of Top Gear, but also have their little interstitial bits that they'd already filmed. They stopped doing that, I think, 3 years ago, 3 or 4, and now they just do 2 or 3 specials a year, so the kind of 90-minute chunky ones.
Sure.
And they're very good. I've seen comments that people think they're a little too scripted, but they're so good at doing the scripted bits that it's still funny. Like, who cares that it's a little bit more fake? They're still very funny.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it has been scripted for a long time, or they like reshoot stuff that they said was funny.
Totally.
They like redo it because they didn't have the right camera angle or something. Because like James May isn't the best line deliverer.
Yeah.
And like, well, none of them are, but I feel like you can see through him the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's whatever they come up with, whether or not it's scripted. It's so always freaking funny.
The 2 I'll recommend. One of them is Carnage Atrios, which is literally 90 minutes of them making fun of the French. And it's very, very funny. They do
great.
They each pick a French car and drive it around England. They refuse to do it in France. But
awesome.
There's a part where the kind of setup is they're talking about how the French riot a lot, and they do big protests and riots. When they introduce speed cameras, the French on their own volition, went around and destroyed every single one of them in the country.
Holy cow.
There is a version of them now, but the initial ones they just destroyed because they were like, no.
That's crazy.
And so during they do a race, and every like lap it stops. The first time there's like a protest of all the race marshals, and they're like, well, we can't race, we got to stop. I think the second one they break for lunch because the French do that. They have like 2-hour lunch breaks, and so they do that.
Right, yeah.
And then the third one, I'm spoiling it. It's one of the very funny bits in it. The third one is, I think they're about to finish the race, and then there's like and then it cuts to like the commentator, and he's got an axe in his back, and they're like, well, they've killed the commentator, so we can't keep going. And there's just blood pooling out of his back. It's very, very funny. So
that's awesome.
That one's good. The other one is called a Scandi Flick, and it's them in Scandinavia doing They each have rally cars.
Sounds like a dance move.
Yeah,
the Scandi Flick.
This one is really, really good. It has some of the best scripted bits, but then the bit that isn't scripted, and it was a big news story, is there's a part where they find this like really long tunnel, and it's got like almost horror lighting where as you walk along the lights turn on, but until you get to them, they're not on. And so they decide to do a 0 to 60 or like as fast as you can go down the tunnel. And Jeremy does it, and like nearly just like, because it's a tunnel in a mountain, so the end of it is just solid like mountain wall. And Jeremy does it, stops just in time and parks out. And then May does it, and it's like, I think I barely remember the story, but watching it was like, I thought James May died because he's barreling it. It's like 100 or something, and then you just see him like freak out because the lights are turning on. The light finally turns on that is the wall, and he brakes, and the car just smashes into the wall and almost turns. And it's like,
holy crap.
It was like frightening. It was a real like car accident, and
that's crazy.
And that happens in the first like 20 minutes of it.
Jeez.
And the rest of it's very funny, but yeah, James then, like, I don't think scripted because they're very much like environmental hazards. He then like 2 or 3 other things happen to him, and so you're just like, oh, come on, man, leave the guy alone. Like, he falls into a lake, like his car, they're driving across a frozen lake, and then it just goes in. Yeah, very fun. They're also long because they only do a couple of these, so they're over 90 minutes. They're like they're almost feature length. So
yeah, cool.
I'd recommend give them some of those a go.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
very nice. Cool.
Game.
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit. So I've been playing through Stray Gods.
Yep.
For ETTO's side quest podcast with Ben this week. So yeah, just been playing through that. I think I'm nearly at the end of Act 2 of 3.
Okay.
So hopefully this afternoon or tomorrow night I'll be able to smash that out and finish it off.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. All the voice actors and stuff have been great so far.
Yep.
Except one guy at the very start.
Interesting.
Who hasn't come back.
Yeah, right.
But his line read is just the worst thing I've ever heard. But he's like, it's in the first minute or 2 of the game, and it's him walking out of a room saying something.
Yeah, right.
And it's awful.
How funny.
It's so bad. I'm sure we'll get into it more in the side quest podcast, but there's audio issues as well, which apparently have been fixed on PC, but that patch hasn't come to consoles yet.
Right.
Or at least hadn't by Thursday or Wednesday, whenever I last played it.
Yep.
Yeah, so within one conversation, the audio level could go from barely being able to hear it to just like way too loud.
Oh, no.
And that's, just different clips of dialogue.
Yeah.
Even like the same person. Yeah, right. It can flick between like, say it's you and I having a conversation. It's like you talking normally, me talking normally, you being too quiet, me talking normally, you being way too loud, me being too quiet, you being normal again.
So it's not like, even just like a certain person recorded higher.
Yeah.
It's just bouncing.
It's just every clip is just different. Weird. It's really strange.
Yeah, wow.
And for a game that like doesn't have much game but is mostly based around audio and dialogue.
Yeah.
it's a little bit rough. Even some of the singing can be like that too.
Yeah,
the songs.
Yep.
So like it can be too quiet for the music, so you can barely hear what they're saying. So subtitles helps if you're trying to follow the story. But yeah.
How is the mechanic of like, because you can kind of, it's like through your choices the song can shift and like melody wise and stuff like that. Does that feel responsive?
It works.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. It really works. The transitions between different like different styles, I guess, or different emotions within a song. Transitions really seamlessly. It's quite good in that respect.
Yeah.
The story's it's all right.
Yeah.
It's pulling me through just to find out, the story, what is happening, what the actual twist is.
Yeah.
What the mystery is, but it's there's nothing like keeping me super invested and involved. I'm finishing it because I paid for it.
Yeah.
And it's not long.
That's what we do here.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. And for the pod, obviously. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So that's been fun. And last night, so Maxine has her hen's party tomorrow. So she was making some jam from scratch with her maid of honor, and who was her housemate as well.
Yep.
And so her other housemate, her maid of honor's husband, was like, "Hey Josh, do you want to go play Divinity?"
Oh, cool.
I was like, "Okay." So we sat down and we started a split screen co-op save of Divinity Original Sin 1.
Wow.
So the OG.
Yeah.
He's a big fan. He's played both of them a couple of times, I think. He's very keen for Baldur's Gate, but he only has a Mac, and it's apparently not fully released on Mac yet.
Damn.
The early access was. So he'd played a little bit of it, but he's like, I don't want to keep playing it because every time they updated it, they'd wipe your save and you'd have to start again. And he said apparently the new game and the early access is very different.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, like the stories and companions and stuff are different from
Yep.
what people had been playing. So, he's keen for that. He's very into that sort of like D&D tabletop. He's downstairs right now taking a day off work to play a board game that they started at 9 and will probably finish at 9 or 10
Jeez.
tonight. It's a long one. It takes a couple of hours to set up. So we stopped playing last night, both because he had to go start setting up the game, which was going to take him a couple, and also because I forgot my glasses. The TV is a little bit far away and there's a lot of text and my eyes were just dying. Just straining for way too long. So we got a couple of hours in, but
what's more strained right now? Eyes or quads?
Quads. Yeah. I keep bouncing. I'm a very bouncy person when I stand and do anything. So
I mean, that'll save you.
That's it.
I played on the show and then also played last night with Finchy a bunch of Moving Out too. It's very, very good. I forgot how much I loved the first one, and this one's very good too.
I didn't even know you had played the first one when you mentioned it the other day.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think I played with maybe with Gem and Rad, maybe just Gem.
That would have made sense.
Because it was early COVID. So
nice.
We played online, and then I just remember playing the rest of it because I was just like, I want to play it all. And that was very fun. I'm very excited to play more of this one because, of course, there's a lot more multiversal sort of thing. I'm like, I'm a little bit sad how long you spend in like normal Moving Out. Like it's a decent amount before anything actually happens. But I enjoyed it. But it's almost like I wish I never played the first game and this was my first experience to everything, just so I can like enjoy this. But I think playing it with Finchy, he had an experience, so it's like all of this is new to him.
Awesome.
And I just love how much of it is experimental. Of like there's obviously an initial tutorial, but outside of that, it just feels like the game's like, what are you going to do here? That door's a bit low, isn't it?
Figure it out.
What are you going to do? Yeah. Take it all the way around? All right, that works.
Totally. Yeah. And like what you guys did on the show, you sent me a clip where you were throwing a pool table over a pool, off a balcony over a pool. Yeah. I assume just hoping to land on the ground so that the others could pick it up, or you guys could go pick it up and grab it.
Yep.
But in throwing it, it landed on an umbrella, which you guys probably didn't know, but they bounce things.
Yep.
So you can throw it, and then it perfectly bounced into the truck, which ended the level.
Yeah, it was the last thing.
Amazing. It was so good.
The best part about that is at the side of that, Gus was getting so frustrated because he hates moving and was just like, I hate this game. This is too real. I don't like this. And then we did that and he was on such a high. And then we did one of the arcade things, which were my favorite things about the first game, was the arcade challenges. And we did that.
They're good fun.
Instantly spawned in and Pete just kept slapping him off the edge. And he's like, I'm not happy anymore. I hate everything. And
it's so good.
It's very fun. Like, Ruby and I just took our couch to the end and just stood and waited. And it was like, it felt like 5 minutes until they did anything.
Yeah. It sounds like I've been watching a lot of Donkey recently. Mm-hmm. Yep. And him playing any multiplayer game with his friends.
Yeah.
Like Portal and stuff like that. He's such an ass, but it's so funny.
Yeah. Well, he's a donkey.
That's it. That's it.
Ass.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. It's very good, and it's like great, and it's just astounding how much Moving Out 2 functions well. Congrats. In like single player, 2-player, 3, like it shouldn't work in any situation. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. And there's obviously in the game, there's like lighter and heavier objects, but if you play as one player, it like supercharges your player to be able to carry bigger objects by yourself. And there's also what people probably don't know, I don't know if you know about it, in the settings, there's a dual mover mode.
Okay.
So the left joystick controls one player and like one mover.
Yeah,
and the right joystick controls another. So you can still play 2-player, but by yourself.
Oh, wow.
And each of the triggers, it's hard.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah.
I think they literally made it and put it in there for testing.
Yeah, okay.
So that they could like... so that one player could test multiplayer essentially.
Yeah.
So it's tough to do.
That's
it's like
cool,
it's a bit of a mind thing, but when developing, it definitely came in handy. But yeah, it's always like you just keep the player that you're playing with the left stick. You keep them on the left as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because when they cross over, the player on your right hand is over on the left, and that just messes you up.
That's cool.
So you always like keep them there. As a tip if anyone wants to try that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a fun, difficult mode to muck around with, but it's in there.
Yeah,
so
that's sick.
It's a cool one.
Very cool. That's everything from me. That's everything from Josh.
That's everything from me. We're done.
Before we're
not done.
We got one more seg.
Yes. Live on your television in 30 seconds.
What's in the TV guide this week? Tuesday, 22nd, the day this pod comes out, of course, episode 4 of Only Murders. The only reason the Tuesday is here is because briefly I didn't understand how time zones work, and I put Ahsoka onto this. But Ahsoka is on Wednesday, which I'm very excited about.
Nice.
The reason I moved it briefly was because it's got a new day in the US, but for us it's still Wednesday. But instead of being 6 p.m., it's dropping at 11 a.m. every Tuesday. Which the Yanks are very happy because they're generally their episodes are dropping at midnight over there. They're bumping this so that they get a nice time, which for once prior to that it was great for us. Only Murders is still dropping at 5 o'clock. But it's very funny it's taken this long for a Disney Plus thing to time out for country of origin. Like, it's generally been just deal with it.
That is very strange. Yeah.
So
cool.
11
Are you gonna be stopping work at 11 then?
I don't know. Maybe I'll work harder so I don't see anything. It'll be the opposite.
But one or the other.
But because I'm tossing up maybe doing like recorded watches of it. Just because I feel like, from what I have seen from trailers and what I've heard, it's going to be a very fan-wanky thing, and so there might be some good reactions. So
very good.
I might hold on to it. But that's a double episode this Wednesday. Very exciting. 2 eps to start with. Invasion Season 2 drops on Apple TV. Now, Invasion, I remember being a bad show. I looked it up. The rating, the scores are between 4 out of 10 and 6 out of 10. So yeah, not a great show. Also written by Simon Kinberg, who wrote X-Men Last Stand. Just all the horrible films you can think of. Yeah. So if anyone's excited, Invasion Season 2.
There you go.
The answer is no one. Thursday, Ragnarok Season 3, the final season. This drops on Netflix. This looks cool. I remember the first season trailers, and I didn't realize that they'd made another two. It's basically Scando Stranger Things utilizing kind of the myths of Thor and stuff. Like,
yeah, right.
It
cool.
Being Netflix, it's shot the way Netflix series are. And yeah, just from this trailer for season 3, I'm like, this looks pretty sick.
What's it called?
Ragnarok. Yeah.
Cool.
So it looks really neat.
Nice.
I may have a look at the early season and see if it's worth watching all of it. But season 3 on Thursday. And then on Friday, 2 films. The first one on Netflix, Adam Sandler film, You Are So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah. Is the name of the film.
Amazing. Great.
It's Adam Sandler and his literal family, so the daughters in it are his daughters.
Good. Sick.
Which, of course, people cried Nepo, but then in the trailer, they're very funny, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And then on Disney Plus, Vacation Friends 2. Everyone remembers Vacation Friends 1.
Loved it.
It's like the SNL cast and John Cena is basically what the cast list looks like. So
that sounds great.
It might be great.
Really fun. Yeah. Interesting.
So that drops on Friday. It may be a good one to watch at 9 o'clock. Chuck it on. Start it and have a nap.
Why not? Have a nap.
Have a nap, everybody. But that's everything. No games this week. Lighter week. Not much happening there.
Yeah. I did hear, what was it? I heard on, I think it was kind of funny that Alan Wake has also been delayed.
Oh, wow.
It was meant to come out in the same week as Spider-Man and Mario Wonder, and I think something else comes out that week.
Yeah.
It's been delayed to the following week.
That's right. I don't know if it was them that they were like, in their thing, it's literally, there's a lot of games, so we wanted to put our game somewhere else.
Yes, yeah. So it's coming out, I think, the same week. I think the following week after those games, or 2 weeks after.
Yep.
I think Kind of Funny said it was delayed by 10 days.
Okay.
It's a weird amount of time.
Yeah.
But I think it comes out around the same time as the Metal Gear Solid collection.
Good.
Volume 1.
Good.
So they're like, yeah, it can probably compete a little better with that one.
Why do they... Yeah. I could get it. I get why, because when you're making a thing, you just keep pushing it. But it's... Why does everything come out in the last 4 months of the year? It's so silly.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
Like, spread it out.
Yeah.
We have a week this week. Just put it out this week.
There's nothing there.
It's fine. There's nothing here.
That's why only Elden Ring wins at the Game Awards, because that's all anyone had time to play by the time the Game Awards happen.
Yeah.
Just give us more time.
Totally.
We'll have time. We'll have all the time in the world. I'm keen to... Yeah, I've got an idea for a Patreon exclusive thing that I'm going to chat to you about. Available now, like you mentioned, is a little Only Murders of Building theory thing that I posted. The way I kind of explained it, I'm going to say the theory, it's based on episode 3, but it's also not, because my theory is that I've worked out how the show functions, which is it tells you things, and then episode 7's like, oh? And it's like, oh, I didn't fucking think about that. And so I think I've worked out, oh? I think I know.
Yeah, nice.
I think I know what the big thing is, and that's where my theory is from. So if you don't want to have that potentially spoiled, then don't watch it. As I said in the post, wait 7 weeks, watch it after it's happened. But
nice.
I just needed it to be out there so that when or if it does happen, I don't look like a fake.
Yeah, you win.
I win. I need the glory.
Nice. That's it.
But yeah, so check that out if you want. There probably will be not this week, but the following week a new side quest. So within the fortnight.
Yes. I think we're recording on this Tuesday, the day that this comes out.
Yep.
So hopefully by the end of the week or the weekend.
Yeah. New side quest coming. But that's all the content. If you want to see old stuff, you can go to etto.card.co, R on the card, and there's a bunch of stuff there. And that's all the things. Play Moving Out. Go to the credits. Wait like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
See his name.
Me.
His name. It's very cool. It's very cool. The top as well. The top of the list.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I guess I was
the best.
One of the very few programmers that, like, from my company that was on it. So makes sense.
Yep. Very exciting.
Got some help from 2 others, but it was basically just me every day.
Yeah. There you go. You heard it here first. The best one.
The best, the greatest.
One. The strongest thighs. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Oh, wow.
Who's pointing at me?
Oh.
Who is this?
The greatest.
For me.
The greatest is pointing. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Till the next time. I've been Will.
I've been Josh.
Bye. Bye.